This is a quite large package. It consists of some little packages, and it's from the shipping center in Kentucky. And this is an AliExpress package. So I'm guessing that all these were shipped to the Hebron facility, the Kentucky facility, and then they were combined into one package. We'll start with this little fellow. There's a number of videos on YouTube about this. This is a 35 to 4,400 megahertz tracking, well, spectrum analyzer and tracking oscillator. So it's really a receiver, very narrow bandwidth, that scans from some low frequency to some high frequency within the 35 to 440 megahertz limitation. So it receives. Also built on this board is an oscillator that oscillates at a frequency equal to the receive frequency. So the receiver tunes back and forth, and the oscillator follows at a single frequency, the input frequency being received at that very moment by the spectrum analyzer. Here's the AliExpress seller's page. I thought actually I was buying the one in the enclosure, but you can see I didn't buy that. Now they don't mention the tracking oscillator here, but this one has a tracking oscillator. $30.33 delivered. We'll open this box next. So it's a type A to type C, I believe, USB cable. And what it is a signal generator. I don't know how it functions, but I think we could power it up and see. It's marked off here in the corner. Oh, there's a little tiny switch here. .5 to 200 megahertz. It has clock 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so I guess F0 is clock 0. In the same way with F1. F0 has a line under the 200. We can move it. Okay. We can move it down. 3 places. There's 2 selections on this line. It looks a lot better to my eye than it looks on the camera. In any event, we'll do a separate video on this. Here is the AliExpress page. Now it is a square wave output, at least I believe it is. $30, free shipping. So we have a box in a bag. This is an R80 aircraft band receiver kit. I'll do a separate video on this. See, this was delivered to Jamaica, New York. Then it must have been shipped to Kentucky, where it was mixed with the other things. And we have it here. So this is like a package inside of a package. I've got 1, 2, 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these, which we'll get to. This is one of those unpowered, on-off switched magnetic bases, specifically to hold indicators. It's got an articulated arm. Rotates in all manner of ways. And once you get it where you want it, you can crank this tight and it positions whatever's in this holder. The unique thing about it, that I think, is this powerless on-off magnet. So I turned it to the off position, and you see the knife falls away. But it's not battery operated. This thing cost $13, and it was advertised as this. Did not come with the indicator. So this would be used on a lathe, maybe a milling machine for sure. where there's a nice flat cast iron table. So what are these things? Here we go. It's a 1 amp battery charger specifically for the 18650 series of complex metal batteries. Oh, I wasn't crazy. They come in a lot of 5 and they're $2 a piece. In lots of 5. So $2 a piece plus shipping on 5 pieces is $1.44. This is an AliExpress package. Although it's been transshipped, I was able to find the tracking number. So this is a low-pass filter. You see it has a lot more components than the band-pass filter. It says low-pass filter, 10 megahertz. So somewhere above 10 megahertz, the throughput attenuation increases dramatically. But from 10 megahertz down to some low frequency, it passes everything. This is the AliExpress sales page. See, it costs $12. It was free shipping. And it is a low-pass filter, LPF. This makes no sense unless they're inferring that this filter should be used with a 10 megahertz XCXO oscillator that has a square wave output. I'm not quite sure what this package is. Oh. This is supposed to be a copper cloth. Now, I don't believe it could be a copper wire. I thought I might try something like this to shield the inside of a plastic enclosure. Well, it reads 0 ohms. Yes, it truly does. 0. Be very interesting. I ordered this on eBay. It couldn't have been more than the day before yesterday. So I haven't had time to print up a seller's page yet. This copper cloth, which I think is probably copper coated cloth, says here pure copper, but I have a hard time believing that. It was $15. And it looks like this is 4 foot by 4 foot. It will be interesting to see how well this shields stuff. This is also an unidentifiable package. So this package has 3 of these black plastic clamshell covers and 1 bag that contains all the hardware, I hope. And this is the same enclosure but a different color that I used for this and for my antenna switching device. I like this form factor where I can stack things up instead of a bookshelf type thing. And with SMA connectors and coaxial outside the enclosure power, these smaller enclosures can hold a bunch of stuff. This was an eBay purchase. Call that $6 a piece. And $1 a piece shipping, because there's 3 cases. So $7 for this enclosure. There's the description and size. And this is the seller. That last digit's a 2. I cut the edge off of it. This is an eBay facilitated package, and it's from Danny Danny. I recognize this. I must have bought something from Danny Danny in the past. So they're individually packed. SMA male by SMA male by SMA female, and they're attenuators they're attenuators. This one, for example, is a 40 dB attenuator. And they all appear to be physically identical. Protective caps. And they have the logo on them, RF Comms. Eric Liu, SMA JK6240. And this is a 40 dB. Okay, as I said earlier, this is a 40 dB. They say 6 gigahertz attenuator. I bought 4 of these. Now they're not all the same attenuation. And Danny Danny is apparently Annette 9252 on eBay. And I bought a 60 dB, 40 dB, 1 dB, and 3 dB. It's interesting, the prices. The 3 dB and the 1 dB are $8 a piece, while the 40 and 60 dB are $16 a piece. These are twice as much money than these. So these roughly come to $48, which means it was $50.50 shipping. I have no idea. These are cord ends, USB cable ends. Wonder how they stay together. I guess you could take that out. No reason to. It's held in by a small flange up here. And I'm guessing once you push them together, they're designed to stay together. I guess there's 10 pieces here.